Joplin hospitals make adjustments to deal with increasing numbers of COVID-19 cases. And a judge rules whether a constitutional amendment expanding Medicaid in Missouri is constitutional.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
COVID hospitalizations are up in southwest Missouri, and Freeman Hospital is reopening its COVID unit after it closed back in March. KOAM's Chris Warner has more.
COVID cases continue to climb in the area, with Missouri seeing a rapid rise in cases compared to other states. That also means the number of COVID patients is increasing in the area, leading to the reopening of recently closed COVID units at local hospitals, including Freeman. Freeman's COVID director, Dr. Rob McNabb, says there are some key reasons he thinks led to the state we're in.
What we were doing kept it under control. Not gone, not vanquished, but very under control. And when we removed all those safety protections, now we're back up to 40 plus patients in-house, and we're still not vaccinated enough to be able to take advantage of herd immunity.
Dr. McNabb says it's still important to get vaccinated.
You know, what we know right now about these new variants is that they're still very susceptible to the vaccinations that we have. Though it does look like you need to have both vaccines in that series completed to really get the benefit from it.
And despite calls for people to get vaccinated, vaccination numbers are still low in the area, including Jasper County.
Almost 35% have received 1 dose of vaccine, but it's closer to 30% of the total eligible population that have actually been fully vaccinated so far.
Moore says the rise in cases locally is having an interesting side effect.
We have seen our numbers increase just over the past week or so as far as people that are requesting vaccine. And so we're hoping that some people that have been kind of on the fence are looking at this and saying, well, wow, the cases are really starting to increase. Maybe it's time to start looking at getting this done, and we hope more and more people will do that.
In Jasper County, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Dr. McNabb says he's hopeful we can get through this surge in cases faster by getting more people vaccinated. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with officials at Mercy Hospital to find out how the spike in cases is affecting things there.
In Joplin right now, we have more COVID patients with a population of 50,000 compared to St. Louis.
At Mercy Hospital, the increase in patients isn't just coming from at-risk groups.
Last year, we were seeing the elderly population, 60s, 70s, 80s in the ICU. Not anymore. We're seeing patients in their 30s, 40s, 50s.
With this recent spike in cases, they worry about reaching capacity limits.
Some difficulty in finding staff. So bed is an issue. We may reach our capacity to take care of COVID patients.
Dr. Esquera says low vaccination rates in the state are a factor in this spike.
This is the reality now. We are seeing a return of COVID. Southwest Missouri has the dubious distinction of being the hotspot in the country. And Missouri has one of the lowest vaccination rates, in particular Southwest Missouri.
It's also causing concern for local health departments.
Last year, about this time, we were seeing a major increase in cases, and we're approaching that same kind of increase. So that causes a lot of concern with our health professionals, because we want to make sure that we have adequate hospital space.
Now with these new patients, Mercy had to turn their ICU into a negative pressure room.
Each room can now accommodate a COVID patient. If they need a ventilator, that kind of care.
Dr. Esquera says if numbers continue to increase at this rate with low vaccination rates, it could lead to another public health problem. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Mercy currently has 31 patients hospitalized due to COVID-19. Nick Kelly, a bit more heat and humidity today.
Yeah, on a day, Dad, where we thought it would hold off for just one more day, Mother Nature always has the ultimate say-so. So it's no surprise that when we pull up the numbers, we went from a nice low of 61 this morning, and we just catapulted back near 90, back above our normal high of 88 for this time of the year. I don't have a lot to show you right now, at least in our area on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, but I'm still watching these thunderstorms really starting to get their act together now, and that could play a role in our forecast by the time we head into tomorrow. In the meantime, we're still warm and muggy, mid-70s to lower 80s, pretty much rule of thumb across the area. We'll drop back eventually into the mid-70s with a quiet overnight. Lows drop to 74, but that complex of storms out in Nebraska, that could try and clip some of us in southwestern Missouri, mainly north and east of Joplin. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm not expecting anything severe, but even with those rain chances possible, Dow, we're going back to 93 tomorrow. We'll see how the rest of the forecast looks here in a bit.
Yeah, thanks. A Missouri judge finds that a voter-approved ballot measure to expand Medicaid is unconstitutional. The judge says the amendment unconstitutionally sought to force lawmakers to set aside money for that expansion. Now, under the Constitution, lawmakers cannot be forced to make appropriations unless the ballot measure includes a funding mechanism. Voters passed the constitutional amendment last year, but Governor Mike Parson refused to implement it because lawmakers didn't set aside any money for it. Missouri senators are back at the Capitol to work on a critical piece of Medicaid funding. Governor Parson called lawmakers back to Jefferson City to pass a tax on medical providers. The tax draws down a significant amount of federal Medicaid funding. The tax wasn't renewed during the regular session because of a fight over Medicaid coverage for Planned Parenthood and some family planning services. Parson says lawmakers have until July 1st to re-up the tax. Otherwise, he says he's going to cut $722 million from the state budget to make up for it. The Missouri Attorney General's office says it's reached a settlement with Missouri-based televangelist Jim Bakker and Morningside Church for marketing a supposed potential cure for the coronavirus. As part of the settlement, the Attorney General recovered $156,000. Additionally, Bakker is not allowed to sell or advertise a silver solution as a way to diagnose, prevent, mitigate, treat, or cure any disease or illness. Bakker must also return an additional $90,000 to consumers who purchase silver solution between February and March of 2020. In a written statement, Missouri Attorney General Derek Schmidt said in part, quote, "My office will continue to work tirelessly on behalf of Missouri consumers and will not hesitate to take action when those consumers are being defrauded." Coming up, police in Broward County, Florida find the bodies of two teenage girls, and now authorities are searching for their mother for questioning. And as crime surges in our nation's bigger cities, President Biden announces new steps that he believes will control gun violence. Police are looking to question a mother after the bodies of her 9- and 7-year-old daughters were found in a Broward County, Florida canal. CBS's Manuel Bajorquez is there.
Tonight, police in Lauderhill, Florida announced they have a person of interest in the deaths of two sisters who were found floating in a canal. And that person is their own mother, Tanessa Hogan.
She was contacted by police. She is not in the community right now.
They've identified the sisters as 9-year-old Destiny and 7-year-old Deja. Neighbor Lawana Johnson discovered one of the bodies.
It shocked me. I froze. Then I started to cry.
The gruesome discovery happened around noon yesterday. Destiny's body was found first, and about 8 hours later, her sister's was discovered about 500 feet away in the same canal. Witnesses say she was wearing flowered pajama pants.
We are definitely treating it as if it was a criminal investigation.
Officials say they are still awaiting results of autopsies on the girls. They are unsure when the sisters ended up in the water, but believe they've been there for some time.
We're hoping that the community reaches out and helps us put some context to how this may have happened.
Police say the mother, who was not immediately taken into custody, never reported the girls missing and that they were last seen together 2 days ago. Neighbors have started to leave items here at a small memorial for those girls. Manuel Bajorquez, CBS News, Lauderhill, Florida.
President Biden is turning his attention toward gun violence.
Today, the Biden-Harris administration is announcing a comprehensive strategy to combat violent crime and gun violence that targets the crime itself. Combined, this plan will stem the flow of firearms used to commit violence.
The Biden administration is laying out a plan to take aim at gun violence, announcing a new DOJ zero tolerance policy in which the ATF will revoke licenses of gun dealers if they willfully violate gun laws. The Treasury Department will also allow impacted communities to use funds from the American Rescue Plan to go toward law enforcement hiring, overtime, and prevention programs. And the plan includes expanding summer programming and employment opportunities for teenagers and young adults. The Supreme Court has sided with a Pennsylvania high school cheerleader, ruling she was wrongly suspended over a vulgar social media post. Then freshman Brandy Levy was off campus when she posted her profanity-laced rant after learning she didn't make varsity cheerleading. Her coach got wind of it and suspended Brandy from the JV squad. The court said that violated Brandy's First Amendment right to free speech. The High Court said schools can restrict speech that would disrupt the school environment, such as threats or cyberbullying. U.S. authorities blocked access to dozens of news websites in Iran yesterday in a widespread crackdown on that country's media. The Justice Department says the sites were trying to spread disinformation among American voters. Iran called Washington's actions bullying and proof the U.S. doesn't really believe in free speech. Later, a pair of Southeast Kansas baseball standouts receive all-state honors.
Plus, we are hot and humid for the next few days with thunderstorm chances to watch as well. We'll get to the forecast next. We thought we could hold off on the heat and humidity of pure summer for one more day, but Mother Nature otherwise had different plans for us. Even though it looked nice throughout our time-lapse of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort outside of Seneca, Missouri, we went from a nice, dry, warm Tuesday with highs in the mid-80s right back into summer today. After we dropped back in the lower 60s this morning, it was easily a quick jump back into the upper 80s to about 90 degrees across a good portion of the area. Even though it still looks quiet and looks decent at 1017 from 7th and Range Line, it's still warm and it's still muggy and a bit breezy too. 79 in Joplin with a south breeze at 15. It's making it feel like 82 as it's helping to keep that dew point right around a soupy 70 degrees. And it's not just Joplin that's warm and muggy. Everybody across the area is warm and muggy late on this Wednesday night. Whether you're in the mid to upper 70s on the Missouri side or the lower 80s in our corners of Kansas and Oklahoma, we factor in those dew points near 70. Still feels like we're either in the mid 70s or in the mid 80s all across the board. Eventually we will drop these temperatures, the actual temperatures, down into the mid 70s for a bit of a break from the heat for your Thursday morning. But there's something else I'm watching for Thursday morning. Look to the northwest. A cluster of thunderstorms near the Nebraska-South Dakota line. That's really starting to get its act together now as they continue to develop ahead of a dry line positioned across Nebraska and South Dakota. These storms are going to end up riding right along the warm front as it continues to march toward the north and east. So we got to keep an eye on that as we go into tomorrow morning and maybe early tomorrow afternoon. After that, we got to watch this cold front. That'll bring in the better shot for rain and storms for the weekend. And the upper levels too. This upper ridge is going to try and build back in to keep us hot and humid for the next few days while we get these little disturbances to ride right along the jet to help in bringing the rain chances and thunderstorm chances back into play. So let's time out what we can with our future track forecast. We'll keep skies partly cloudy throughout the overnight, and I think we're dry as we get your Monday, make that Thursday morning commute started with lows back in the mid-70s. But watch your future track by 10 o'clock. There's that cluster of storms. The future track wants this to graze our corner of southwestern Missouri. This latest run, though, tries to push it more toward the east, but I'm going to keep some thunderstorm chances around late Thursday morning into early Thursday afternoon in case any of this action tries to clip us. If it can, I don't think we'll see anything severe, but if we get any outflow from that, you can see how at 4:30 it wants to try to fire off some isolated storms in the afternoon. So I'll be on the watch for that as well. Regardless, it's going to be hot and humid again. 74 in the morning, 87 by noon, highs near 93. Then I think we'll be okay Thursday night But by Friday morning, we could see another good complex of storms try to clip us for Friday morning, along with additional scattered thunderstorms late Friday afternoon and the Friday night. And despite all of that, it's going to be hot and humid again, with highs topping out in the lower to middle 90s. So those are the 2 hot days in the 7-day forecast, even with the thunderstorm chances in tow. Fortunately, I don't see anything severe. 93 tomorrow. 94 Friday after a warm and muggy start in the morning with lows near 77. But as the rain chances ramp up with that next cold front to the north working in, Dow, that will bring another good relief from the heat with highs in the lower to middle 80s from Saturday into next week.
That'll be welcome, no doubt about it. That sounds pretty good this time.
Certainly will.
For now, one way to escape the heat, businesses in Iola, Kansas are paying for kids to swim at the Iola pool absolutely free of charge. Outsiders Bar and Grill challenged other Iola businesses to contribute to the pool so kids could enjoy summer without worrying about the money. Pool officials say this challenge helps area kids and the pool.
It just shows that they're going to support our community, let them come out and swim for free, that they're involved, they want to see the kids get outside. I know the stereotype is a bunch of kids want to stay inside and play them video games, so it's nice to see all the kids get out and play.
Outsiders Bar and Grill started off the challenge by paying for 60 kids passes. Coming up in sports, we catch up with a former Pitt State coach after a recent promotion at Division I Wichita State and all-state recognition for a pair of SEK baseball standouts. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
A pair of Southeast Kansas baseball standouts earned first-team All-State honors today from Sports in Kansas. In Class 4A, Chanute's Cam Custer and Fort Scott's Luke Bradbury are first-team All-State selections. Now, Custer is a first-team All-State utility player for the Blue Comets. Bradbury is first-team in the outfield. Now, this season for the Tigers, Bradbury collected a team-high 28 hits in 21 games, including 11 doubles, also drove in 17. Also tied for a team high with 21 runs scored. Well, former Pittsburgh State head softball coach Elizabeth Economon was back in the four states on Tuesday. And we caught up with Coach E to talk about her new title at Wichita State, keeping up with the Gorillas and still recruiting players from the four-state area. Former Pittsburgh State head coach Elizabeth Economon has been elevated to associate head coach for Wichita State softball.
It shows you loyalty and old age and, time put in and caring about a program that you're part of. I really enjoy working with Coach Brett Benner, who's our head coach, and our new pitching coach. We got a great thing going, so to be a part of that and to be loyal to that group means a lot to me. We had a great season, coming off one of the best seasons in school history, so hoping to keep that going, but Wichita's been good to me and my family.
Coach E was back in the four states on Tuesday for a skills camp at Missouri Southern.
I miss being down here and seeing all the people that we spent so much time with, so it's always good to get back and see everybody, but there's good softball down here, and I feel like sometimes Southeast Kansas gets the quick once over, and there's kids that come from small towns in Oklahoma, small towns in Missouri and Kansas that maybe don't get recognized initially, but they're there, so you just got to find them.
Economon left Pitt State in 2017 after 6 years as head coach. She won more than 200 games at PSU. And while she's moved on to Wichita and the Division I level, she still keeps tabs on the Gorillas and the rest of the MIAA.
I always keep an eye on the MIAA. I obviously follow everybody that's been in the league for a while, and Coach Blackney here at Southern I've known for a long time, so I'm excited about the success she's had with her program almost immediately. So it's exciting to see the teams that you used to compete against have success. When you're not there, it feels a lot better to cheer for them. So yeah, I'm excited the direction Pitt State's going in. I hope things go well.
Coach E is entering her 5th season at Wichita State. And the Shockers were 41-13-1 this year, winning both the American Conference regular season and postseason tournament titles. The St. Louis Cardinals are sitting in 4th place right now in the NL Central. The Cards have lost 4 of their last 5, including Game 1 of a 2-game set to the Tigers last night. Those two teams back on the field for the finale today. Nolan Arenado, big swing here for St. Louis. Puts it out to left, solo home run. Cardinals up 1-0 in the second. Moving ahead to the third now, Tommy Edman up. Dribbles one back into center field. That scores another to get the lead to 2. After that, though, All Tigers tied 2-2 here. Daz Cameron way out to left. Home team has its first lead. Then in the 5th, Jonathan Scope. This will be his 2nd of the day, 15th homer of the season. Tigers run away from the Cards today, 6-2. The Kansas City Royals face the Yankees today in Game 2 of their 3-game series. Danny Duffy back from the injured list to start for the Royals in this one. Duffy goes just 2 innings. He didn't allow a run, struck out 4. New York, though, gets 2 in the bottom of the 9th to win it in walk-off fashion, 6-5. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Master Sergeant W.M. Hughes. The Arcadia, Kansas native served in the U.S. Air Force, and we are proud to salute Master Sergeant W.M. Hughes. He's tonight's 4-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes, hundreds of them from all across this area. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime you like. It's very simple. You just click on the link on our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Herd of cows got loose, ran through a neighborhood in Pico Rivera, California last night. It's believed they got loose from a slaughterhouse in the area. Can you blame them, really? At least 20 cows were seen running down roads and cutting through yards, trampling bushes. Los Angeles County deputies came to help round up the wandering herd. Authorities said by late last night, most of the cows had been corralled into trailers in a cul-de-sac. The deputy had to shoot and kill one of the cows after it injured a person. You might associate a lot of sites with Los Angeles County, but roving herds of cows, probably not top of the list.
Yeah, I imagine people were terrified to see cows running down the street outside the window. Yeah.
Maybe you had never seen them before. I don't know. The weather staying hot.
Yeah, especially tomorrow with highs back around 93 and 94 Friday. I got storm chances I'll keep an eye on for Thursday morning into the afternoon. Better rain chances they'll still stay after the weekend.
Final sports now.
Former Oklahoma Sooner star Trae Young, 48 points tonight for the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks beat the Bucks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget our morning show, and let's make it a great tomorrow.